Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. If you follow along on Twitter at Tony Katz, you can see the next Lieutenant Governor of Indiana, Eric Holcomb, rocking out to Back in Black. You picked the music.
Well, you know, before the former governor, Mitch Daniels, came into office, we were drowning in a sea of red ink, and in short order, we were back in black. So I'm pretty proud of that song, and it has a special meaning to me. And we're going to keep it there with this governor, I'll tell you that.
Eric Holcomb joins us, appointed, or will be appointed, the next Lieutenant Governor of Indiana. You were running for U.S. Senate, and then, you know, all of a sudden, hey, no. And, you know, you've got the pedigree. Deputy Chief of Staff to Mitch Daniels, Chief of Staff to Dan Coates, who is, of course, vacating the seat, gave you certainly an opportunity with that kind of knowledge and that kind of base. What happens? What makes you say, you know what, Lieutenant Governor, that's the ticket?
Well, the call came in, and I've known Governor Mike Pence for many, many years. He and I actually both attended Hanover College, and I actually asked him to come back to school. He was a few years my senior, and I asked him to come back in 1988 and attend a dinner, and he did. He came off the trail way back then. So I've known him and watched him from afar for many years. And then when he asked, I said yes, and I jumped at the chance because for the very kind of the same reasons why I was running for the United States Senate. I mean, Indiana is doing a lot right, and we are a model for many to around the country that are asking us, how are you doing this and how are you doing that? And one thing that we got to get right is our federal government, getting them out of our business. And so that was what I was so passionate about, was going out to Washington, D.C. and playing a little offense. I can do that here too, and I can serve this governor as he's leading this state onward and upward, and we are doing it by every measure, and it's just look at the facts.
One of the things that gets discussed when discussing Governor Pence is that certainly it's been a rough year. It has been a rough year since RFRA. It has been rough regarding LGBT. He has taken the hits on infrastructure when that clearly was not him, Wildcat Creek Bridge,
right,
etc. Is part of the reason that you're the selection because as a part of the Mitch Daniels machine, your view of government, how it works, how to navigate it, how to prevent these kinds of preventable issues, you're somebody who can do that and, as I referred to it earlier, be the COO of Indiana and properly guide the operations.
Well, I hope I can help, but what I do bring is a long view and a little rationale to this. And I can recall, just to go back, take a trip down memory lane, I can recall in 2005 and 6, vividly, headlines saying, well, we now know Governor Daniels isn't going to run for re-election, or there's no way he can get re-elected. I held on to those headlines for a while because we were doing big things. And the road gets bumpy sometimes when you're actually active and doing things. And for 16 years, we had stagnated. We had drifted. We were sinking. And when Governor Daniels got elected and this new crew came in, we said, no more, not on our watch. We are going to do things. And if it's one and done, fine. But we're going to do things. The taxpayers deserve that. And so we were doing things all over the state of Indiana, and it's not always pretty, and it's not, the medicine doesn't always taste good. But you feel a lot better down the road. And so I completely understand these bumps, but I'll tell you, you look at the facts, and this Governor Pence is doing it right. He is staying on offense. He is leaning into the pitch, and he's stroking it. That's why we are, our unemployment is down by half. It was, 8.4% 3 years ago. It's now 4.4. Cut it in half. It's the lowest it's been since 2001, our unemployment. We are the best in the Midwest for doing business. We're in the top 10 in the country. We're lapping people. So we're cutting taxes where we need to cut taxes. We're letting people keep more of their money. This governor's got his eye on the ball in all the important categories, whether it's jobs or education or infrastructure. Look at the amount of investment we're putting into roads right now.
But with all due respect, sir, it won't matter unless you can get reelected. And John Gregg has taken the tact of going along with Democrats, whether he believes them or not. I still haven't figured that part out. Regarding RIFA, regarding LGBT, regarding the social issues. In your estimation, you're a political guy. You understand how this stuff works. You've orchestrated elections before. How much will that play in the state of Indiana? And what will be your response to some of those questions and commentaries?
Well, as you might imagine, I am, as when I jumped in feet first into the deep end here, I'm just getting up to speed with what the 6 agencies that I will oversee. So I'm keeping my eye on the official ball right now and making sure that I know what my job is to the taxpayers. That is first and foremost. Come fall, politics will come into play, and I'll just say this: I think the facts will speak for themselves, and each of this governor's and his opponent's records will be on display. And I look forward to talking about. Again, remember when I came into this. In 2005, we cleaned up a big mess, and I have not forgotten what that mess looked like. So I'll be able to deal with the politics when it's time. But right now, my eye's on the ball, serving taxpayers, and will continue to throughout the whole process. But unfortunately, yes, you're right. You have to deal with politics down the road.
And we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about it during the break, and we'll have it live for everybody at WIBC.com. Eric Holcomb, the next Lieutenant Governor of Indiana. Thank you for stopping in.